Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in our previous video, we have learnt about the borders in CSS. And for today, we are going to learn about the CSS box model. Let me show you how it looks. This is what the box model looks like. The blue part is the content, and above the content we have the padding. You can see it here. This light green color, this is the padding. Above this we have the border. We'll learn about this. So the box model in CSS has a major role in the website development. We can say that with the help of the box model, we can decide how our web page will render on internet. While making the web pages, we'll learn about this CSS box model. In this model, it will generate a rectangular box for the HTML elements. It will replace every element according to its dimension, type, positioning, and relationship to each other. We'll learn about this with an example. So I am going to create a new file, and this is our 15th lecture. I'll create the boilerplate. We'll change the title into CSS box model. With that, we'll start with this new chapter. For that, I'm going to create a container. In this, I'm going to give the heading as this is my heading. With that, I'll give a paragraph lorem 23. You can wrap this content using toggle wrap. Just click on command palette and view toggle wrap word. This is how we can wrap this. I'll copy this container. We'll paste it. So that now we have 3 containers. You can see it here. We have 3 containers. We'll add some styling to this container. As I said before, we have to add this styling inside the head tag. Here I am going to style it with the background color as I have to mention that class name dot container curly braces. With that, I am going to give the background color as pink, whereas the border 2 pixel solid black. Let me show you that. Okay, this is what we have created. Okay, there is a slight mistake. I have to remove this div here. I have closed this div here. Let me remove this. Okay, now we have 3 containers like this, with the background color as pink and the border as 2 pixels solid black. In our previous video, we have learnt about the borders. This is what the border width, and this is the style, and this is the color. With this, here I am going to add the padding. Padding has 80 pixels. Let me show you. This is what it is looking. I have given the padding as 80 pixels. If you remove this padding, this is how it was looking. Sorry. I'll give the padding as 40 pixels instead of 80 pixels. We have to close this container. Okay. Whereas I'll mention the margin as 35 pixels. Okay, let me show you that. This padding is nothing but that padding property creates a space around element content. This is what our content is. The padding is what? This is the space we have created using the padding. You can see it here. This is the space. Whereas margin is outside the padding. It is the space around the elements or the outside of any defined borders. Here we have created the margin, whereas the padding is inside this box. We have created the padding. With this padding we can mention padding left. Instead of this, I'll remove this padding and I'll give padding left as 40 pixels, whereas the padding right has 30 pixels. Padding top has 33 pixels and padding bottom has 25 pixels. You can see it here. Let me open this side by side. Wait for a second. Here you can see, if I change this padding into 140 pixels, you can see the difference here. In the left side, we have created a padding of 140 pixels, whereas the right side we have only 30 pixels. I'll change that right side into 130 pixels. This is how this box is looking. In the same way, we can change this margin into margin top with 20 pixels, margin bottom with 33 pixels, margin left with 30 pixels and margin right with 12 pixels. Let me show you that. This is what we have created. Let me give margin left as 130 pixels so that it will be easy for you to understand. You can see it here. Left side we have given the margin with the 130 pixels, whereas the right side we have given 30 something. Like this we can change the margin and padding. Instead of writing all this, we can simply write padding, then 12 pixel top, 23 pixel bottom 33 pixel left and 10 pixel right. This is the shortcut. Instead of writing all that, we can simply write this in this way. Top, bottom, left and right. You can remember it with TBLR. This is the easiest way. By which we can add the padding. Now we'll add the margin in the same way. I'll give the top, bottom, left, right with 20 pixels, 33 pixels, 44 pixels and 55 pixels. This is what we have created using this margin property. Always remember, margins are used to create the space around elements outside of the defined borders, whereas the padding is the space around the elements inside the borders. And this CSS box model is essentially box that wraps every HTML element. It consists of content, padding, border and margin. This is how we can create the beautiful websites using this margin and padding. Instead of 33, I have given 333. We'll check this. Okay. Now this is good. With this we can add the radius also. You can provide border radius 30 pixels. You can see it here. This is how we add margin and padding. You can see the corners. These are the rounded corners. Instead of 30 pixels, I'll add 130 pixels. You can see the difference. We'll learn more about this in our next chapter. And for today, thanks for watching this video. Do like, share and subscribe.